Breece, that was, I believe, the most carries you've had as a professional. Just how did that feel physically, to come back?
I mean, I've had more in high school and probably Little League, so it's just football at the end of the day.
Are you looking forward to when we're not asking you these questions about the knee, about the number of carries? Is that something like, can't wait for that to be the case?
You can be honest with us. Yeah, we can take it.
Hold on, I got to figure out. Y'all can ask me whatever y'all want. At the end of the day, I got to
Saw your tweet at Tiki. Was that just, you heard him say what, that you have deceptive speed or the 4-4 comment?
No, we were just joking around. But I talked to him the night before the game, and we had a good conversation. But yeah, just cool to talk to a guy she watched growing up and stuff like that.
How hard was it to see, we went through this last year with you and AVT, but to see AVT go through it again, like, how tough is that?
It sucks, bro. Just being here with him like the whole off season and coming in here every day, being grumpy, complaining with him, and all the little stuff that just helped our relationship grow and everything. I saw him today and just gave him a big hug and everything. So I can't wait to see him back on the field.
Just getting, a workload like that, is that a test that you pass, or does it feel like a pass test, proving it to yourself that you can that many carries?
Nah, because the workload you get during the rehab process is harder than what you get in the game. So it's like, I've gone through days where I've done way more just through our rehab on my knee, just doing a whole bunch of stuff with my knee than I would in the game. So when you come back and start playing, you know that you're ready. So it wasn't anything mental that you got to check.
Are you one of those backs who feel like the more carries you get, you feel better later in the game because you get into a rhythm?
I mean, for running backs, I think it's getting in the rhythm also has to do with how well the O-line is, if the O-line's in the rhythm as well. So, if any back's running the ball well, it's because not only is he running the ball well, but the O-line's blocking well, the tight ends are blocking well, the receivers blocking well. So at that point, it's the whole offense being in rhythm.
I think there was a clip. You took a handoff around the right side, and it was before you broke the long touchdown, and you just missed it. Someone just tripped you up. It looked like you looked at the Denver sideline or going something like that. Mm-hmm. Did you get a sense the big play was coming? Was it one that you knew you were getting closer and closer and closer, and you were going to break it?
Honestly, I feel like I probably should have had 3 touchdowns, but I was trying to cut back instead of just beating them with speed, and I realized kind of before halftime that they were kind of playing me for the cutback and stuff like that. So then once the long run happened, I just ran right past them because I knew they were hanging on my back shoulder, playing me for the cutback.
There's been a lot of talk of the Dolphins and how fast they are, and when you look at the GPS numbers, I think they own the first 5 or 7 spots.
Yeah.
What is the top number that you think you can hit? Do you think you can do 1?
I don't even want to compare myself to them because one, I'm 40 pounds bigger than all of them, and 2 is they got it, they faster than me, so I don't even want to go there.
You mentioned about the offensive line getting a rhythm. It does seem beyond outside of the AVT injury. It seems like those guys have started to get into a groove. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that? Does it seem like it's been clicking up for them?
Yeah, for sure. And then they're gonna do a good job of just getting guys ready, just in case injuries do happen. God willing, they don't. But just they take pride in just making sure nobody misses a beat and keeping everybody ready.
Breece, the Eagles are undefeated this season. Jets 0-12 all time against them. How much do you look at, 1, giving a team their first loss of the season at this stage, and 2, getting the Jets a win over a franchise they haven't beat?
I mean, before right now, I had no idea, so I could tell you I didn't really care about that. But yeah, every day, every game you're looking at coming out and winning. So I guess just because they're undefeated or whatever doesn't really play a factor in the motivating us to win. We want to go out and win every week, regardless of who we're playing.
Quinn, there's a lot of talk of the Eagles push play. I guess just from a defensive standpoint, how hard is that play to stop?
I've never been against it yet, so I answer that question probably Monday.
Quinnen, is Fletcher Cox one of the guys that you've kind of looked up to, watched his film and kind of studied a little bit?
Yeah, that's my guy right there, man. I model my game after him. He done a lot of stuff in his career that I took it away from. I feel like my skill set coming out of college and my height, size, weight emulated his, and the things that he did very well, man. I take a lot of stuff from him and keep in touch with him, ask him questions. He was an amazing vet, an amazing leader when I first got to the NFL. So.
I know you haven't gone against it, but when you look at that quarterback sneak that they do, quarterback sneak's been running forever. What do you think makes theirs more successful than others?
I don't know.
I mean, because I know you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I find out Sunday if they do it, but I can answer that on Monday.
When the Eagles' rushing offense has been quite the attack, and you guys have struggled at times to contain the run so far this season, what have you seen from them that makes them so effective?
Oh, they got a great offensive line, man. They've been having the same offensive line probably the past 5-6 years. You can tell they all firing on all cylinders. They all been with each other for a long time, so that chemistry level they got an amazing quarterback when he can run, and they got an amazing running back in Swift. They can hit the holes hard and run very fast. So it's definitely a challenge, man. It's definitely a cool scheme to go against, man. So it's gonna be definitely cool to play. So.
How fun has it been to see Quincy's success throughout his journey?
Oh, it's been super fun, man. See his success. He's been very consistent this year, coming into his own as a leader, as a explosive player, and as an all-pro caliber linebacker that we all in his organization know he can be. So it's super fun to see him live up to those standards, live up to the expectations. So.
Quinnen, did you line up against Landon Dickerson in Alabama at all?
No, I was in the NFL when he was at Bama. So.
Can you talk about the challenge of facing this Eagles defense?
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge challenge for us, the biggest challenge of the year, with that front seven and the way the DB group plays behind it. The coaching, just the experience they have. This will be a great challenge for us, and as competitors, we look forward to this opportunity. They got a great squad. We're excited.
Do you think this is the best defense you guys have faced this year?
So far, as things play out throughout the season, that'll reveal itself, but based on last year and then what they've done this past, these 5 games, they look like the best defense, for sure.
Garrett, what have you seen out of Zach the last couple of weeks, confidence-wise? Can you feel it rising a little bit?
Yeah, man. It just all comes with ball, with reps, with playing, getting out there and putting good film out there. And with what we've been doing, we had a good game last week, to take film from, that is. And when you do that, it's just naturally build. You naturally build. And, yeah, man, I feel like he's doing everything he can to make sure that he's taking the right step every week. And yeah, man, we're trying to make sure we follow suit.
Can you talk about this? You played with Zach, obviously, last year. What's confidence from last year compared to this year?
Yeah, man. I mean, he's improved on it. And that, kind of like what I said, it comes with reps. It comes with getting out there and playing, and being in that position for the second time. Maybe not the first time this time around. It's the second time, and that's just all it is. You take the right steps. As athletes, we get better with reps, and that's how I believe it. That's how he believes. That's what we all believe. You got to get those reps. You got to put yourself through that to be able to do it when it really matters, and that's what he does every week, man. So we're gonna continue to improve doing that.
When you look at how loaded they are on defense, what are a couple of things offensively you think are your best paths to victory in this game?
Yeah, just being precise in our routes. We got to get to our spots fast. That D-line is something. And their back end knows that. They play into that. They know that their DBs do. So if we feel like we can, make them guard and be precise, we feel like we'll be in a good spot, and that's what we want to do. We just got to get to our spots, be precise as possible, be open, paint great pictures so that, there's no, he's seeing it and he can diagnose, make a decision before that D-line gets up there. They're really good, man.
What do you, just in a bigger picture, you were able to get, with all the adversity you guys have faced, obviously with Aaron going down so quickly and all that, if you're able to get to the bye week 3-3, how critical is that to you? I mean, what kind of an accomplishment do you think that would be, given the stuff you had to deal with?
Given that we started 1-3, it'd be a huge accomplishment. We wanted to get back to 3-3 going into the bye. That was the plan. That's the position we put ourselves in after we won last week. We got a chance to chase that, and that'd be a really good feeling. It's our next game, so it's as big as anyone, but I'm not going to get around the bush. 3-3 would be great, given how we started and what we went through. I think it would be a good spot. So, yeah, man, that's the focus for sure.
What do you think this offense's identity is at this point?
I think that we're balanced, man. I think that we're going to lean on our backs when it comes down to it, and we're going to have to make a read. We can do that too, And yeah, man, I feel like we're still trying to find it every week. You know, we know that we haven't reached where we want to be at, We haven't put on film what we think we are, what we want our identity to be, but it's building, and that's what makes it coming in each day exciting. Is knowing that we're not there yet, knowing that we're still trying to chase, and you never know what day it might be to take that huge step. So yeah, man, we're still trying to find it, but we feel like we got some good stepping stones, some good foundation to build off of for sure.
So how special was that post-game moment for you when you got the game ball?
I think anytime you win a football game, you're absolutely ecstatic, and to be honored with that is amazing. It's a credit to our entire team. I mean, I just called the plays. Those guys went out there and executed, and I'm so grateful to just how they played.
When you look at some of the red zone issues from the game, what are they, and how do you correct them?
I think it always starts with scheme first. That's me always looking at the things that I can control to help our team. I think that the run game was really going well at the time, so we wanted to continually try to do that, and we weren't able to convert on some third downs, which is unfortunate, and it's something that we all have to do better, both schematically and with execution.
How did you think the way Zach played against Denver?
I think he did a good job. I think there was some, we're always going to think we can get better. It starts with me and then with everybody else. But I think that he's slowly, continually making strides.
Okay, you talk about just right before the half. Obviously, you didn't get a playoff and, didn't get a field goal as well. Just talk about what was supposed to happen in that situation.
In that situation, anytime you're in 2 minutes, we always like to say you have to go really, really fast, but don't rush. And that's where you got to be calm, cool, and react to what you're seeing. And I think with experience and more experience, we'll be able to do that a lot more effectively. Obviously, we didn't want that to happen. And I think both urgency, the mindset of potentially getting the ball out of bounds or anything like that could have definitely helped us. And that's something that we're going to have to grow and learn from.
You guys have talked about having to sort of restructure and recalibrate things after Aaron's injury, obviously. It took a couple of weeks. Do you feel like you found something, like an identity there in Denver?
I think it's really been the last 2 games. I think that we've seen just a couple things open up a little bit more. Like you said, I think there's been so many changes so quick and early. It's almost like I'm glad that it happened this early so we could find out what we can do as a unit. And it's something that we want to continue to build on.
What did you like specifically about?
I thought the run game was pretty good. The run game was absolutely fantastic, and I give so much credit to the O-line coaches, the O-line. Breece was out of his mind. He was definitely feeling it. Dalvin did a good job. I mean, even Michael got a carry in there and got a good run. So I think it was it takes all 11 to be able to run the football. So and we put a lot on those guys with the motions. And there's so much that goes into it, just asking Zach to get up there and work the cadence in a loud environment through our silent cadence and be able to do some of the motions. And we didn't skip a beat. I think that was something really cool to see from our guys. But the run game definitely was good. There's some really good play action passes that we had. We just got to be more consistent in the pass game to be able to open it up even more.
How tough is it to lose Vera Tucker again, and how do you go about replacing him?
I feel so bad for him first, as the person. He's worked so hard to get back. He's been battling, then we changed his position, and he didn't even blink an eye, and he was playing at a high level, and he was getting better. So I just feel so bad for him, because anytime you lose a guy for a year, that's the unfortunate part about this business. To replace him, we're working through that right now, just like we did, a couple weeks ago, and we want to try to get the best combination of guys that can work well together.
I know you hadn't been here very long, but just looking at Breece and just obviously you've been around the league for a while. Does he compare to anybody that you've seen?
I don't like to necessarily do comparisons, but I will tell you, this past game was, it looked different. And especially with that low oxygen level that everyone claims is out there, I felt like he had a major X button. His burst through the hole, and then, for us, because he's broken a couple, we thought he might get caught, and he was not going to get caught on that one. And so I think that just both his strength, his power, his ability to put his foot in the ground makes him a very special back.
What's next for Zach? What steps does he have to continue to take as he goes forward with this offense?
As a quarterback, there's always so many things to improve on. I think that there's unbelievable signs of him growing, both in starting with the protection, the operation of the cadence and the motions like we talked about with Denver, and even the reads and progressions. I mean, it's one of those things just to feel more confident in the system. I think that whenever we look at it, you know, he was in a system for 2 years prior to this, and we're asking him and we're trying to put more on his plate to have him grow and continue to get better. But sometimes those are things that are first time he's ever done in a game. And so it's one of those things, just keep growing, keep learning, and keep developing so we can build all the different routes that we can work on.
What do you mean, Nate? Like you said the first time on his plate, like specifically, what are you giving him that maybe he hadn't done before?
So think about it as whenever you put a system in, you know, there are different plays that we do. So he's worked them in practice, and he's done those in practice. He's done those maybe in a versus our defense, but to actually go out and execute him in a game. I mean, right now with us and this offense, he's 5 games old. That's the way that I look at it. And as he grows and continually does those things, I think he's going to get more comfortable with some of those other concepts.
His short range accuracy is improved statistically. What leads to that? Like, how does a quarterback improve his accuracy, in his case specifically?
I think everybody has different reasons for that. For our system, on the foundation of what it was built is all your footwork and understanding of the decision and the timing. That leads to your accuracy. So for us, for him to be able to take the proper footwork and get the ball out before any pass rush can even get to you accurately and efficiently is what we're always aiming for. So I think for me, it's always been the footwork. It's how every single step that we have is completely choreographed. I remember Steve Young, Joe Montana would always talk about it as a choreographed dance back there. And anybody that has ever danced knows that you have to spend numerous hours working on a simple 8 count. Just to be able to get that and perfect and precise. So I think for him, as he's developing within these footworks and understanding where his eyes are and his feet, that's where I think you're seeing that improvement.
Going back to the red zone stuff, Aaron even mentioned on the radio the other day that you maybe could have been more aggressive on first and second down with calling plays. How do you balance that when the run game is working the way you said it was, and wanting to get ahead of the sticks on first and second down in the red zone?
Have the run game work when I called it. I mean, it's one of those things, anytime you call something, if it doesn't score, you're upset and you wish you would have done something else. I just think you always want to be aggressive. And I think whether you call a run or a pass, I think that that's all aggressive. Just two different mentalities. One's physicality and one's throwing the ball down the field or in the end zone. So it's one of those things where, you know, I'm looking at it very closely. The staff has looked at it, and we want to do what's right. And you know, I just felt like at that time we were running the ball so well that, you know, we had an opportunity to get that in there. And I really liked our third down package. Unfortunately, that didn't work. If it would have worked, we'd be talking different. We definitely would have been reversed to maybe 3 of 5, 2 of 5. But it didn't work out that way, so we'll continue our scheme.
I know you downplayed the meetings at last week's game, and obviously, though, for your players, it meant a lot for them to come out and play for you the way they did. Can that help secure that bond? Yeah, you're a first-time offensive coordinator. Can that really gel you to the players?
I think everything gels us. From every meeting, every second we spend together, to anything that happens off the field, things that happen on the field, corrections on the field, fighting, celebrating. There's so many things, and that's that whole thing when I continually say time. Whenever you're in a system with the same people, there's this amazing trust that's always grown between the coach and the players. And I think that's when you look across the league and, you know, those teams that are doing really well, a lot of it is because they've all been together for a long time. And anytime you have any of those things, I think it brings guys closer. And, you know, we didn't talk about it last week. I mean, it wasn't a hot topic. It was, we got to go out there and win a football game. So to see how they were, it was funny. I didn't really even see anything until after the game. And it's great just because it bonds us for the rest of the season. And you get that 24 hours. Now we got to get on to the best defense in football.
So that's touching on that, like what does stand out about the Eagles defense?
Whew. I mean, there's a reason why they're, if not the best, you know, maybe the second best. I mean, their defensive line, their secondary, their linebackers, they're playing at an unbelievably high level. So there's so many different facets. It's going to be a major challenge for us.
What did you think of Conklin's play overall? But, you know, the fourth quarter, he's carrying guys. And how important has he been to the offense as a whole?
Unbelievably important, both as a person and as a player. I think that for me, I've been lucky enough to do this for a long time, and that third and I believe it was 3rd and 4, when he gained that 37-yard gain, that was one of the most perfectly executed plays I've ever seen. And then the mentality and physicality afterwards, I mean, that is what, as a coach, we all strive for. I mean, Zach makes a great read. They doubled Garrett, and then he ran a perfect route, delivers the ball perfectly, and then what he did after the catch just shows who he is, and he's been doing that consistently throughout this year, drop stepping, running, trying to run over a guy, and then watching all the other guys come together and push that pile. I mean, I'm getting tingles right now. I don't know about you guys. I mean, it was. That to me was one of the most perfect plays I've ever seen, and in that kind of a critical moment, was just so awesome to see. And it started with Conk, and watching him deliver that and deliver the blow and run. So he's been great.
With Dalvin, aside from the obvious, like his numbers are way down, he just looks like he doesn't look like he's the Dalvin they saw in Minnesota for a few years. What's happening with him or not happening?
I don't know if I want to speak to that because he had an awesome run. I think he got about 9 yards there. I know any running back, they want to get into a groove. I think that he understands that. He's been around this league for so long, and Breece was really rolling. So I think he respected that. And as soon as we can, see that happen or get that continuous stuff for Dalvin, that's when we want to keep feeding him. So I look for him to continue the same that he's always been. Thank you.